In this lesson, we will learn how to create an Instagram or Facebook post from scratch. Now, on Canva, you can not only use the templates that are available, but you can also create designs from scratch. Now, that's the best part of Canva. Now, to do that, you can simply go ahead into your Canva interface and click on Create a Design. Now, since we need to have an Instagram image or a Facebook image, that is usually a 1:1 image or 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. Now, you don't have to remember all these things. You can go ahead and simply click on the Instagram post button over here, and you would be able to easily get the canvas open in front of you. Once the canvas is open, you can start doing your designs. Now, if you have a design inspiration with you, you can straight away get started with the design in your mind. If you don't have the design inspiration, then you need to get an inspiration for your design first, and then you can start making your design. Now, you can always go ahead and choose a Canva template for your designs. That's the most easiest way to make your own designs on Canva. But again, that may be used by multiple people. Making your own design from scratch is something which you need to learn so that you can make your own designs, and it can be authentic as a design that you have made yourself. Now, I have a design concept in my mind, and I'm going to recreate that over here on this particular canvas. So I'm going to make an ad for a rugby school which is going to charge $50 per month for rugby classes or rugby training course. So what I will be doing is I will be placing a couple of elements on the canvas and tying it together so that I can make this ad attractive and give a call to action on this. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a frame which is a circular frame like this one. I'm going to put it over here on the blank canvas, and I'm going to increase the size to something pretty big. So I can cut it into half and put it next to the canvas. Let's maybe size it this much and drag it so that I can get at least 50% of the circle inside the canvas. I think this much is good because I need to use the left side of the canvas to put some text and a call to action, so I cannot waste a lot of real estate in putting this particular photo. The next thing that I want to do is I want to give this canvas a little bit of color. So let's change this from white into blue, my favorite color. Again, you can keep changing this based on your branding guidelines. You don't have to keep making everything blue. Blue is my favorite color. That's why I keep using blue everywhere. But it depends on you, your branding guidelines. So you can do whatever you want over here. Next thing, I'm going to choose another element so that I can give some design onto this particular image that I'm going to create. And I need a contrastic color on this particular image. I think gold would be good. Let's try gold. So let's try this one. I think this is an okay color. And I'm going to make it as big as the frame that I had placed earlier. And I'm going to move this particular element, the circle over here, behind the frame so that I can make it as a border of this particular frame. Or this is also pretty nice, this particular design, wherein I get a nice border from here. This looks pretty interesting. But I think we should not do it on the top. Rather, we should try to move it towards the bottom of the image. So let's try it to put it at the bottom, maybe this way. So it gives it a little bit of a tone to the image and makes it a little more attractive. It puts a sense that we have done some effort into the designing and not just put some images next to each other. So this is something we have prepared now. Next thing is to put the logo of the training center on this particular image. Now, I don't have a logo for a rugby training center in hand, so I have downloaded an image and I'm just going to upload that onto this particular image. So to do that, I would simply go into uploads, then device, and then I will select the logo that I have downloaded. I think this is the one, but let's just maximize it and be sure. So I think this is the one, and I'm just going to place that logo on this particular image. Again, you can use whatever logo that you have. It just needs to be contrastic with the background. You cannot have a logo which is the same color of your background, because then it's not going to make sense and the design is going to fail. So the logo should not be too big. It's just there so that your brand is recognized, your brand is visible. And again, I'm not going to follow the guidelines over here, because if I do, then I will start cutting myself off because of this particular circle. So instead, I'm going to keep it neat with a margin. Like this is the margin which I am creating for myself on the left and on the top, but I'm not following the Canva guidelines over here, the pink box which comes up. So this is the margin that I'm going to use, and I'm going to add some text below so that I'll be able to convey the message to my audience. So I'll go into text, and within the text I will take in a heading which is a bigger text, a text which has more weight onto it, and then I will write about the rugby training course. Now again, I don't want this to be horizontal. I want it to be more towards a 3-line thing over here. So I have made it a 3-line thing by reducing its width. And now I want to move it up near the logo, and I need this to be left aligned so it matches the alignment. It matches the margin which I have created for this particular image. So let's make it left aligned by clicking on the alignment button. And the text is too big. It's too big for this image, because otherwise, if I don't make it small, it's not going to be proportionate and it's going to look very shabby. Now regarding the color, the black color is not contrasting. It's not standing out on the image. So I will choose to make this also gold, which is similar to the pattern that I have made over here behind the frame. So let's make it the same color. Now one good thing about Canva is that once you use a color on your canvas, then the color is fed into the document colors, and you can simply keep using it over and over again on your site. So again, I think that's not gold, that's peach, which is okay for me, no problem. And I have put the rugby training course text over here, and now I want to put a subheading which says that special offer $100 a month. I'm really not sure how much rugby courses go for. I'm just making an example over here. So special offer $100 a month. I'm going to reduce the width of this text as well, but as you notice, when I'm reducing it, I am also losing the content from the $100 per month. I don't want to do that. I want special in one line, offer in the other, and $100 per month in a single line. So for me to do that, I can simply use the enter button on my keyboard multiple times, and I can make the alignment however I want, and then I will select all, and I will again press the alignment button so that I can align everything back to the left aligned pattern that I wanted. Now again, this is not something to be too big, so I will reduce the size to maybe 38, and then I will make this bold so it stands out a bit, and I'll change the color to white. So as you can see now, the default color is black. Again, black is kind of blending in with the dark blue background. It doesn't make sense for me, so I'm going to change the color for this to white so that it stands out on this particular image. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a call to action, and my call to action would be a button. So let me search for a button over here. And on the button, once it appears, I will drag and drop the button in, add some text so that it can become my call to action, and then I will start searching for the image which can go inside this particular frame. So I think the red button is good. Now again, the good thing about the red button is that we can change the color of the red button. It's not something that is going to remain red. So let's resize the button a bit, drag it, and again this will also be left aligned. You get the guidelines from Canva so that you know the upper elements are of a certain alignment and you can match everything to that specific alignment. Now I'm going to match the red button and I'm going to change the button color to peach, the color which we had used earlier, so that we have a certain color guideline on this particular image. And then I'm going to add some text on top of it, and I will put it with the blue color so that again it blends with the design. And I'll say call us. Again, I'm going to make this bold so it stands out amongst the other elements, and then I'm going to simply place it under the button. Now the call us text is standing out pretty well, but I would not like black onto this design because there is no black used anywhere else on the design. So we need to maintain the standard. So I will change this to something of a blue. I could do white, but white is going to blend in with yellow and it's going to be difficult for the eyes to see. Blue is the perfect color for this particular call to action button because it blends in with the background, and again the button gives it the contrast because the button is yellow color or peach color, and it gives you that contrast so that you can differentiate between the call to action button. Now the last piece of the puzzle for completing this design is the image that we need to put in, and that is going to be from the photos section that I'm going to fetch. So let me go in and search for rugby as images, and let's maybe search for the best image that can go inside this particular frame. Let's scroll down and see if we get something nice. I think this one is nice. Let's try this. Now this is good. Let's realign it a little. And the problem with this is it's an image that is fitting perfectly with the circle. So I'm not able to realign anything. And at the same time, this guy is not playing rugby, he's playing soccer. So it doesn't fit my branding guidelines, it doesn't fit the rugby training course message that I'm trying to convey. So I will need to look out for another image that fits my requirement. Let's scroll down. I think this one is good. Let's try this. Let's put this in here, and this one fits, but again this person's head is cutting off over here, so we need to reposition this. Let's maybe make it a little lower down and click a button outside, and this is fitting perfectly. We have the design ready. The design is completed. You can now go ahead and download it and use it wherever you want. So now we have completed the design, and even the ball says rugby club. So it is giving the right message to the audience who is looking at this particular image. If you're selling your training course for rugby, you need to attract your audience. You need to make your audience interested on this. You need to make your audience desire this particular course, and you need your audience to take an action. That is IDA, the principle that we had learned in the previous lesson. And this looks like a perfect ad for that particular purpose. Again, this is not the only ad or only variety that you can make or only post that you can make for Instagram or Facebook. You can do whatever you want. This is something I just made for you from scratch, and this is something you can also do. If you just get some design inspirations, you can make it yourself and make some money if you are making this your career. So I hope this lesson was enjoyable. and I'd like to thank you for viewing.